Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Jahan, and today I'm going to be going through the Chanel wallet on chain, my impressions, and do I think it's worth it. So if you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like because it really helps my channel. So today I'm going to go through the wallet on chain by Chanel. So this is the bag that I'm going to go through. I'm just going to go through all the features with you, tell you how I use it, tell you what it contains, and whether I think it's worth the hefty price tag that comes with it. So this is a part of their classic collection, and like all the classics, it has been subjected to the most recent price rises and the continuous price rises that Chanel keep happening with Chanel. The classic flap, the smallest version, is now around £6,000 or £5,500–6,000. So if you're somebody who still wants a piece of the classic collection in your own handbag collection, the wallet on the chain, the classic one, is a good way to go, because it does feel like the classic flap is becoming forever out of reach and is becoming more like Hermes prices. So it's when you've got to start thinking about whether I want to buy Chanel or I want to buy handcrafted by Hermes. So those are the questions that you start asking yourself. I really wanted a piece of Chanel in my collection. I love Chanel, I love the classic look of the bags. So this is why I still went ahead about 18 months to 2 years ago and purchased this bag. So this is the classic flap. It has a magnetic fastening. I have it in the gold hardware. It's quite a strong magnet, which I really like. And the magnet also has Chanel written on the button here, which I think is a really beautiful touch. It has a sort of concertina opening here, so it opens up here for easy structure and to fit more into the bag. The classic Mona Lisa pocket on the back, which I really like, because it has that feature of a classic flap here, but in just a smaller version. And if you're not somebody who carries a lot on an evening out, or even just running errands on a day out, which I'm not, if I know what I'm doing, if I'm going shopping and I just like to have something small on me, this is the sort of bag that I like to carry around with me into town, to dinner, to theatre, that kind of thing when I'm travelling into Central. Actual dimensions of the bag, if I read from the Chanel website, are 12.3 by 19.2 by 3.5 centimetres. So it's not a huge bag, but it is a fair amount, and you can fit the essentials in there. So let me show you what I can fit in the bag, and then I'll go through the other features. So let me go through the features of the bag. So as I mentioned, it has a magnetic fastening, and so when you open that up, you see that the long classic Chanel chain, which is woven gold with leather in between, is held on by this leather part here, so it's not removable. It does move from side to side, but it's not actually removable. And then you have a zip pocket here, a bit like the handbags, like the classic flaps, and this pocket runs all the way down the back of the bag. So if you wanted something very slim and flat, a letter, a card, a ticket, you can put it through there, zip it up, and it would be safe sat in the back of the bag. Then you have the main pocket part, which is lined in burgundy, which I really love, and the Chanel logo printed in here. And then at the back part, where you have the main compartment, you have 6 slots for credit cards or ID and things like that, which is for me more than enough, because most of the time my cards are held on my Apple Wallet anyway. So when I'm out and about, I don't necessarily need my cards, but if you want to carry ID, licenses, that kind of thing, you can put them in there too. And then you have a zip pocket here, again for smaller items that you don't want to lose. Just for the purpose of this video, I put my authenticity card in there, so that's in there, but I don't keep it with the bag usually. And then at the front here, you do have something small. You can put your Oyster card, train ticket, something that you want to slip in there quickly, for another pocket in there. So you have 3 pockets essentially in this bag. So what can you fit in this pocket? I can fit my mobile phone, which is a Max Apple phone, so I can fit that in there. Say I wasn't going to deposit my cards in the back there, I can fit my card holder, which is a Mulberry one, which is a pretty standard size for card holders. And I can fit a lipstick, and this is actually quite a chunky lipstick, it's the Pat McGrath one, so I can fit that in there, and I can close the bag quite easily, just like that. And it doesn't misshape the bag too much. So what I would say is don't overstuff this bag too much if you are looking to purchase this bag, because you will damage the leather and it will ruin the shape of the bag, and you want to keep it as looking as good for as long as possible. So when that's full, that's what the bag looks like. That's what it looks like from underneath. So it's not too misshapen, but it works for an evening out. This bag also comes with the black dust bag. It doesn't come with the classic white bag that you get with the other classic collection, because it's not a flat bag. So it comes in this black velvet feeling dust bag as well. So this is how the bag is stored, and this is how I store it in my room. When I purchased the bag, I went to the Selfridges store in London. I just prefer the Selfridges Chanel to the main boutique on Bond Street. I just felt like the service was better and the SA wasn't putting any pressure on, and he spent lots of time going through not only this, but I looked at the trendy as well, which has the Chanel gold bar at the top, but I just went for the classic route in the end. I really like the classic Chanel line and range anyway. They also do this in a boy bag version and some other versions as well too. So if you like the size of a small bag, there is a variety of different ones that you can choose from Chanel, but we're just looking at the classic one right now. And what was really important to me was just the finer details, because I've seen that sometimes Chanel quality can be a bit hit and miss. So it's really important, especially when you're parting with this much money, to make sure you're happy with the quality of the bag that you've been shown and that you're going to then go on and purchase. So what I did is I checked all the hardware, made sure it wasn't tarnished or anything like that, and it obviously wasn't at that time. I haven't had an issue with tarnishing. I've had this for 18 months, and I know that some people with their recent flaps, classic flaps that they've bought, and recent 19s that they've bought, they've had issues with tarnishing very quickly, but I've been okay with this bag. So I'm not sure whether it's the way I store it, which I will tell you how I store them, but I haven't had an issue with tarnishing at all. The cross hatching was really important to me, so I just checked the stitching and made sure everything lined up, because that was the sort of thing that for me will really bug me if I can see on my bag that everything doesn't line up. So I checked the front of the bag to make sure everything lined up. I checked the back of the bag, especially across the Mona Lisa pocket, that everything lined up, because you want it to line up. You're paying for the quality, you're paying a lot of money, so you want to make sure the quality's there. And then I checked the stitching on the sides as well, just to make sure there weren't any snags, there weren't any loose threads, anything like that. So really happy with the bag and the way it was presented to me. I think those are the really key things to check when you're purchasing the bag as well. The other thing that you really want to check as well are the zips, so making sure that they run smoothly, you're happy with that, making sure there aren't any dents or marks in the bag of where it's been stored, and making sure that all the packing storage came with the bag. So for me, this came with the bag as well. So this is a piece of packing that sits in the bag, and this is how I store my bag. So when I store my bag, I put this part inside the bag, and then I flap it over and put where the hole is, just line those up, and I put that over just like that there. So what this bit of felt does is just protects my bag, especially the leather part at the top, from getting any dents from the zip that sits on below, and also the zip that sits here, to making sure that's not denting this front part of the bag, because I've read that that can happen too. So that's what this piece of fabric's for. So make sure you get that if you purchase this bag, and if you don't get this, just ask the SA, have you got that piece of fabric, and see if they can get one from somewhere for you, just to protect your bag when it's in storage. The way I store this is that I wrap this part of the chain in a bit of tissue. This is also how it came, around the bag, around this bit of the bag, and then I store the chain inside the bag. And the reason why I wrap it in tissue again is to stop it from denting and marking the inside of the bag, so the tissue then protects it. This is a crossbody bag, and you get a generous chain with this. It's got a really good drop. I'm 5'6", and it hits right at my hip, which is perfect. So you do get a generous chain for it. So if you are taller, I think this will also work for you. If you're like 5'8", 5'10", this will also work for you. It's got a nice long drop. But if you like to wear it as a shoulder bag, all you need to do, which I really like about this bag again, is just take the chain, twist the chain once, make it into a double chain just like this, loop it over, and then you have a shoulder bag. So this is what the bag looks like here if you double it up and make it into a shoulder bag. It fits nicely on the shoulder and it looks super cute. It's got a bit of that Y2K look to it as well because it is such a small bag. All I would say is that if you wear it like this, don't wear it like this too often because the leather is going to rub, the chain, sorry, is going to rub on the leather part here, and you don't want to damage your bag on the sides because otherwise the threading's there, and yeah, you don't want to damage your bag too often. So if you're going to wear it like that, I would only wear that once in a while for evening out, but I would keep the integrity of the chain and keep it long. So this comes also in different leathers, so it comes in smooth leather and grain leather. I've gone for the grained leather because I think you can be a little bit more careless with it, not that I am at all, but it's not going to scratch as much or be prone to scratching as much as smooth leather. So really just think about your lifestyle, where you're going to take your bag, and if you trust yourself with smooth leather. I don't. I know I'd be angry with myself. I'd probably scratch it straight away. So this is why I went with the grain leather. I always tend to go with grain leathers with designer purchases, and I really like the look and the effect. I don't think it spoils the effect at all. I looked at smooth and the grain, and I actually prefer the more of a matte look than the shinier, smoother calf skin leather. And now onto price and telling you whether I think this is worth it. So when I purchased this bag, and that was about 18 months ago, it was £2,100. Now this bag is £2,370, I think, just around that mark last time I looked on the Chanel website. Do I think it's worth £2,370? Definitely not, but I am completely biased. I love this bag. I love Chanel. So for me, it's worth every penny because I really wanted a piece of Chanel in my collection. Am I going to one day buy a classic flap? I think I probably will. Whether I buy it vintage or whether I buy it new is the reason why I haven't bought one yet, because I'm debating whether I want to go down the 90s route, because the 90s bags are much better quality than the ones that you can get now. So that's my dilemma at the moment on whether I'm going for a classic flap or not. But I absolutely love this bag. I think it's such a practical bag as well. It's small, but it does everything that I need. It's perfect for evenings out, as I've mentioned. It's really great for travel because you can get your tickets and things in there and not have to worry about carrying big and bulky bags with you. I really enjoy this bag, and it's also good for travel because if you wanted to wear it crossbody or you had a bigger bag, you can tuck the chain in and actually treat it like a wallet as well. So it's just like an extra bag for when you do go travelling. I'm really happy I got this bag, but I would really love to know whether you would consider buying a piece of Chanel now, or whether you just think the price rises, the quality and things are just not for you anymore, and your eye is now on a different brand or a different option. For wallet on chain, you can get them from so many of the other brands. Mulberry do one for under £1,000. You can go to Dior, but I still think it's around probably the £1,800 mark though. But all the other major fashion houses do wallet on chains. But for me, I just really wanted a piece of Chanel. It's more about the brand name, which is what I'm really paying for. That's what you pay the money for really when it comes to Chanel. So I do hope this video has been helpful for you. What do you think? Do you think the wallet on chain is worth it? Do you love it even though the price tag is ridiculous, and would that stop you, or you don't care, you'll still purchase it anyway? Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to know below, and let me know if you've got your eye on any other designer purchases, because I'm starting to put together my wish list for this year on designer purchases, so I'd love to know yours, see if you can inspire me. I hope you've had a great week, and I will see you soon in the next one. Take care.